Conspiracy theories, eh? Wait till you get a load of this. Hello, and welcome to Crack Sisters Conspiracies. We're a podcast that covers conspiracy theories, mysteries, and all over spooky shit. My name is Cassandra.
And I'm Jack.
And we are said sisters. What was that look for?
Because you were like talking normally and then you went to radio voice like so quickly. It jarred me.
It's talent right there. You wouldn't know.
I was just going to say something.
Hate when that happens. It happens to me constantly. To flip through the 1,800 tabs that are open in my brain to figure out what it was. Alcohol.
Williams.
Evan Williams.
Grocery store does not carry Jack Daniels. And they haven't since I lived here. And I have not had Jack Daniels in probably 2.5 months. And I am jonesing. And this is not the same.
They are not the same. One is Tennessee whiskey. One is Kentucky bourbon. So they are not a substitute. It'll do. I love Evan Williams.
I just feel like I'm at your house every time I drink it. But it's not hitting the spot I need it to hit.
Yes. But so we are just rolling into a second episode because we don't have a bank anymore. And
the second week where I haven't uploaded an episode.
You know what? You're at least getting something out on a quasi-regular basis. It's a lot of work when you have work and all the other things, and then you have a much larger scope. Yeah. So, and I just on a whim had inspiration suddenly. I don't know what prompted it, but I was like, oh, what an interesting topic.
I still don't know what you're covering today.
Correct. Yeah. So it's something I just like hammered out. And I'm like, hey, why not? So now we'll have at least one in the bank and buy us a little bit of time.
Well, we can record this weekend because I also got inspired today and started doing my notes for the following episode.
Okay. Yeah. If you have another one ready to go, we should knock it out then. And then we can take a breather. So. All right. Well, this topic is one that I found particularly entertaining because it's about a Kardashian. And I hate the Kardashians. I cannot stand the family, but I think all of the conspiracies and controversies surrounding that family are hilarious. So when you look at the three primary sisters, we're talking Kim, Kourtney, Khloe.
Mm-hmm.
There's a noticeable difference in the appearance of at least 2 versus 1, right? And so Khloe is the odd man out. And when you see her immediately, you're like, damn, she is built different. So like maybe there's a reason for that. So there's actually
a different dad.
Maybe there is a theory that suggests that the late Robert Kardashian, whom she has her name from, is actually not the biological father of Khloe. And instead, it's O.J. Simpson.
Dun, dun, dun.
Orenthal James Simpson himself. The glove don't fit, you must have quit.
I was putting on a glove.
So a little bit of backstory about Khloe. She was born June 27th, 1984. So she's going to be turning 40 this year.
Okay.
And she unsurprisingly grew up in around the LA area her entire life. Her mother is Kris Jenner, who was a homemaker and has since become the most well-known momager in the world, contributing nothing else to society other than cheap entertainment. And her father was supposedly Robert Kardashian, who was a defense attorney. So Khloe is the youngest daughter behind Kim and Kourtney. And then they also have a younger brother, Rob. Now, this is specifically about the Kardashians, not the whole Jenner side quest. So Kris and Robert, they divorced in 1991 when Khloe was only 7. And then her mother went on to marry, Mr. Olympics, Bruce/Caitlyn Jenner, depending on, what point in time. At that time, they were still Bruce Jenner. Please don't come for me with the fucking... Anywho, same year that she got divorced, she got married. Like, bada bing, bada boom. As I mentioned, there's a whole host of half-sisters and brothers, step-siblings, all that from the Bruce Jenner side of things. But we're just talking about the Kardashian clan, the KKK.
And of course,
I don't have a third K. But... So the rumor that Khloe was sired by someone different than her sisters has existed for decades. From a young age, she's looked particularly unrelated to anyone in her family,
and she doesn't even look like herself because she's had so much work done.
Well, that is true. She has put so much time, effort, and money into making herself look like her family members, but has never naturally taken on the appearance. And it's not just her sister. She doesn't look like her mom or dad did at all.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Yeah, not a single feature is shared between them. She is also just built very differently. Her body type is way different than the Kardashians. She's taller, she's bigger. I don't mean to say this. It's going to sound terrible, but she makes me think of my nephew who is just built like a refrigerator.
Yeah. Well, yes. She's not as dainty as the other one.
No, she was very prominent as far as the family lineup went. And so it's like if you were to look at a picture of the family, it would almost kind of look like some random kid just like walked in and snapped a photo, which is really sad.
Wow.
And, like, yeah, I don't particularly care for the Kardashians at all. I never really watched the show. I can't stand Kim Kardashian. Kourtney is benign. I think Khloe is very funny, especially when
Khloe's hilarious.
She's so funny.
I hate Kourtney and I very much dislike Kim.
Yes. I think it's hilarious when Khloe and Scott Disick would interact with each other
together. God, they're so funny. Sometimes I just watch clips of 10 minutes of Scott just roasting the family and
he flames everyone and they feed into it. So the fact that she is so willing to just light everyone up also makes me think that she's probably removed, at least in spirit, from everyone else.
Yeah.
In Khloe's defense, when you look at her when she was in that middle school age, that's an awkward time. And so I did not have my starting to glow up moments until I was in my 30s. My 40s, oh my God, watch out. That is my time to shine. But when I was in middle school, I looked like fucking Lord Farquaad with my hair. I had my Harry Potter glasses and just everything that could have gone wrong. Plus, I was chubby and I
had a very extensive ugly duckling phase.
Yeah, that's a nice way.
That's how I describe my childhood.
Yeah, yeah.
I should say I was an adorable fucking kid.
You were a very cute kid, and maybe I had cuteness aggression, and so I'm like, I hate you. I don't know. But when you look at us, I mean, even back then, but more so now, it is very obvious that you and I are related.
Yes.
Very clear that we are sisters.
And we have a 7 years age gap and people still think we're twins.
Yes.
Girls are pretty. They're all within a couple of years of each other. And
yeah.
One looks nothing like the other.
Wildly different. And then to further it, you, especially in different points in time, look so much like mom.
Yeah.
And I know I have taken on a lot of dad's traits, especially mentally. And to further prove that I sprang from those loins is I have a walking, talking replica of him in my house.
Your child is dad reincarnate.
100%. And when the two of them are together, oh my God, they try to one up each other constantly because everyone knows everything. And it's hilarious to watch. But anywho, there's none of that. Poor Khloe. I got my active minutes. I guess all the moving. I'm very, excited.
Sham. Active minutes are a sham.
Whatever. So anyway, right off the bat, her appearance from a young age would make people stop and go, that looks...
I thought I could rest my arm on this and I realize it's so much taller than I did.
Get comfortable.
Right.
But yeah, that can usually be overlooked. You can wave that off. But what really didn't help the situation and was a big reason the theory that someone other than Robert Kardashian was her father was perpetuated was the admitted cheating by Mama Kris herself.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so she had written a memoir, as one does. I'm sure it's memoir, one of many, I'm sure. But in it, Kris Jenner admitted to having an affair when she was married to Robert Kardashian. to kind of further that more, Robert Kardashian, he remarried after him and Kris divorced. But I mean, she did, he did. They all kind of went their separate ways. And in a 2012 interview, his late widow, it was a woman named Jan Ashley, that's who he got remarried to. She claimed that prior to his death, Robert actually confessed to her that Khloe was not his child.
Oh, shit.
So those two things right there, I mean,
yeah, it's pretty damning evidence from the sources themselves.
Right? From the two parents that maybe one of them is a parent. Biologically, we don't know if Kris is her mother either.
That's true, I guess.
Due to the terrible nature of the Kardashian clan and the need to squeeze every bit of juice that they can from every aspect of their lives, no matter how horrible it is, in the name of entertainment, of course, they actually addressed the paternity rumor on the show in 2012.
I used to watch the show when I was younger.
I would dip in and out of it. I never watched it religiously, but whatever I saw, it was just this is terrible. But that was
I love the early seasons because they look so incredibly different, and it's like such. It was just like all of the other reality.
Oh, yeah.
We loved to watch before it got so fucking fake and weird and stuff.
Well, and that was still early reality TV.
But I loved early reality.
None of them have their same noses.
Or like faces or
yeah. Everything has changed. They are entirely new people. Yeah. But Kris was actually the one. The mother was the one that suggested to Khloe that, hey, maybe you should take a DNA test if you're really.
But I'm pretty sure they said, you're the baby or whatever. It's your dad.
No. So what had happened was in order to put the rumors to rest, Kris is like, well, just take the test, do it, whatever. And she even rallied the other Kardashians. So they all happily took a DNA test, but Khloe refused to do so.
Oh, okay.
And her response to her mom, which I can see why it would be this. She's like, I don't care what they're saying. My dad is Robert Kardashian and my other dad is Caitlyn Jenner, Bruce Jenner, what have you. I don't need someone to tell me who my family is. I have had the blessing of having two phenomenal fathers. I don't need a DNA test to prove who my father was.
I mean, yeah, that's a good non-answer. But I can understand, like, it would probably, if you went your whole life telling me dad's not really a LaRue, you're not part of us. You look so different. You're the ugly duckling because everyone called her the fat one and the ugly one when she was younger.
Right.
And you do that constantly, and now you're like, come on, take a DNA test. Let's maybe prove. Like, I wouldn't want, even if there was a 1% chance that it was true, I wouldn't want to know. Like,
no. I mean, you've already dealt with that potential trauma your entire life. Why reopen that? You have clearly made peace with the fact that you were raised by two awesome dudes. You had your parents as far as you were concerned. What does it matter if they contributed the DNA or not? I totally get that. And
probably a little percent of her that is worried about the results, which also may have factored into that reasoning.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, she has, I'm sure, thought time and time again that, like, okay, there probably is a good chance, maybe, because they say this reason and that reason. Why would she not believe that, especially when she's young and impressionable?
Exactly.
But can we just take a moment to address how incredibly shitty it is of her mother to suggest that she do that?
Right?
Even if she were in on it, for the show, that's still so fucked up.
Yeah. Especially when you publicly admitted to cheating and there is technically a possibility that her dad isn't her dad. So, like, why would you do that? Plus, you're supposed to lift your kids up, not feed into their worst fears for a couple of years. Like, I mean, she's just a shitty mom.
It's like playing a really shitty game of chicken.
Yeah. That's stupid.
Because you know that she knows what the outcome is.
Yeah.
And so she's just like dangling it in front of her to see if she's going to do it or not.
Well, early on in this early seasons, there was an episode where Kim's like, everyone's saying my butt's fake. So I'm going to go to a doctor and the doctor's going to x-ray my butt and we're going to prove if it's fake. And obviously the doctor holds up an x-ray, like nothing in there. Obviously her ass is fake, but they skewed it to make it, so it's like, it's not even legitimate. So the fact that she was probably, even if she did it, do the DNA test and it did come back, not to them, they would have faked it and said, oh, she's still a Kardashian. But yeah, that's so shitty to put your kid in that situation.
Yeah. And knowing what we know now about reality TV, the likelihood of anything, like you said, coming out truthfully and accurate as it happened is unlikely.
Yeah.
Evan he shot a pilot for a reality TV show.
What?
It was a long time ago when he worked at the shop. They were trying to pitch it to Discovery.
What
Yeah.
was Jesse James's?
It was like the Orange
Dog
County
show?
Toppers or whatever. He
Yeah.
had his own show, and so they spent a couple of weeks. I was super pregnant when they were filming that. But I have this sizzle reel. I'll have to share.
Oh my God.
Okay. Have to share that. But yeah, it's like, okay, they told us what we're supposed to say or how we're supposed to interact. And then the way that they edit things is like, that is not how it happened. And so like, I believe nothing. I know that it's entertainment purely and that nothing is to be taken at face value. But regardless, that's still got to sting because they are still real people.
And some people are gullible. They think what they see on TV is real and that this is a reality TV show.
Correct.
So they're going to believe what they see.
But there's no real in reality.
Correct.
So where does O.J. Simpson fit into all of this?
Yes.
Let me tell you.
Okay.
Give you some context for the connection between the Simpsons and the Kardashians.
Yeah.
So Khloe's mother, Kris, was actually best friends with Nicole Brown Simpson.
Who O.J. murdered.
Yes, who was the second wife of O.J. Simpson. Jenner was actually introduced to Nicole and O.J. when she was only 17 years old. So she's known them most of her life. And her late husband, Robert Kardashian, was the one who introduced everyone together. So that shit runs deep as far as,
he was the one who was the lawyer for O.J. I don't know.
Correct. Yeah. But before all of that happened, like the two families were very close. They were very enmeshed with each other's lives for decades. They would go on vacation, celebrate birthdays. The Kardashians all stated that they called OJ and Nicole like auntie and uncle. That's how that relationship was.
Yeah.
Kris Jenner expressed how both Nicole and OJ were her very best friends, not just Nicole, but she was like, she loved them dearly. Even after, everything that happened. The best friend love fest only ended because OJ murdered his wife and her best friend, Ron Goldman, in 1994. And though the families still remain connected due to the fact that Robert Kardashian was one of the defense attorneys that represented OJ in his murder trial, as we all know, he was acquitted, but he 100% killed them. They're a whole other story in and of itself. I know where I was watching the Bronco chase. You were not.
What year was it?
94. What
month was it?
I just remember seeing it because it was like in the living room. Like, what the fuck? I didn't know what was happening, but I remember seeing it. He's dead now, though, and I'm glad.
He is. Yeah.
So close-knit family connection between the Kardashians and the Simpsons, coupled with the fact that Kris admitted to having an affair during the same time, both helped to perpetuate the rumor that Khloe may have, a different father, and it could very well have been O.J. Simpson. There's also some physical similarities that kind of help to support the rumor as well. Simpson used to be a football player, and like I said, she was built like a linebacker.
Yes, yeah.
And O.J. had 5 other kids. Well, I say other. Yeah. So he had 5 children between his 2 prior wives. And there's one particular child. Her name is Sydney Simpson, and she was the product of OJ and Nicole. Mm-hmm. She looks strikingly similar to Khloe Kardashian. Pull up an image. That'll be a Patreon thing because there's like a side by side, and you're like, oh shit. When you look at it, you totally think that they would be sisters.
What did you say her first name was?
Sydney.
Oh, that's why I put stuff. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I see it.
So what she's lacking in family resemblance with the Kardashians, she definitely seems
the same nose.
Yeah.
Well, back then.
When it was her real nose.
The original nose. Wow, yeah.
I mean, it's totally possible that they are unrelated and just so happen to look very similar. There are doppelgangers and people that exist in the world. There are billions of people on this planet. There's a likelihood that there are carbon copies of us walking around somewhere. I mean, look at you and I. But it doesn't seem totally far-fetched that they might be biologically linked. I don't know. O.J. Simpson himself actually addressed the paternity rumors back in 2022 before he kicked the bucket. His quote was, "People have their types, right? I always thought Kris was a cute girl," he said on a Full Send podcast. Ew, I hate those words, by the way, cute girl. He's known this woman as an adult, so to look at her that way is gross. "She was really nice, but I was dating supermodels." Bitch, you were married, first off.
That's rude.
That's so rude. And the rumor ain't true. It's not even anywhere close to being true. So he's pretty much saying that like she's below his level.
Yeah.
So the fact that he felt the need to say that just makes me think that you were totally trying to cover up the fact that you fucked your best friend's wife.
Right.
And sired a child.
She's not even my type.
No, man, no.
Everyone's my type.
Ugh.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it definitely seems like Khloe may have different parentage than her other siblings. I do not think that Robert Kardashian is her father.
Interesting.
It's possible that it might be OJ. I don't know. Like I said, the biggest piece of damning evidence is the physical similarities between Khloe and his other established child.
Did Kris ever say the name of the person she had an affair with?
I don't believe so.
We should like to know.
Yeah, I didn't read her memoir, but I can also see that being one of those omissions, like admitting that she had an affair, dropping that bomb, but also maybe I had more than one. That could have played out in a couple of different ways. And I do not believe anything that this woman says because everything is spun. So it's carefully curated. So she would totally be in control of the information that's getting out. So yeah, I feel for her because regardless, it kind of sucks, but at least she had parents that loved her and raised her. And if they're responsible for who she is today, well, that's on them, genetically or not. But yeah, so like I said, that was just a random wild hair thought. I'm like, let's chat about it.
But that is a popular conspiracy theory. I've heard it many times.
What do you think?
I think he's also probably not her dad. I don't know necessarily if it's OJ. I just pretty confident that it's not Robert Kardashian.
Yeah, no, I definitely think if nothing else, it was a larger man. So
someone with bigger bones.
Yeah.
And a wider nose.
What topic did you magically think of recently?
I'm going to cover that Bill Gates is prepping to take over the world.
Okay.
There's a couple key points that if you put it all together, it paints like a pretty distinct picture, and we should all be worried.
Interesting. So should I buy or sell Microsoft stock right now, depending on, how your topic's going to play out?
Probably wouldn't hurt to buy.
Okay.
But I don't know if Microsoft will always be here and or the internet will always be here. So
that is true. That's not going away.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I look forward to diving into that. It's not surprising to think that, 1 or 2 billionaires in the world are going for world domination. So,
but he may also be the reason for downfall of some.
Okay, well, we will unpack that this coming weekend, I believe. Hopefully we can get our shit together. All right, well, there are a couple of other nuggets that we're going to put on our Patreon. I definitely think I'm going to see if I can find the sizzle reel from the reality show.
I need to see that.
That alone would definitely be worth the Patreon membership. I am telling you now. And then also we have some little merch that's hopefully going to be hitting Patreon soon. So you should definitely just sign up, check it out, give us your money. You can reach out to us on Instagram. What?
It looks like you're having an earthquake.
Oh, no, I bumped my table.
Okay.
But yeah, reach out to us on Instagram, send us a DM with suggestions, comments, feedback, what have you. Check us out on X, on Facebook, on TikTok, all
one notification on X. Someone liked something and it made my day.
There you go. We have double-digit followers on TikTok now. So, we have more than just like Yumi, Evan, and Alexa.
They don't follow us. I don't have a TikTok.
Okay. Well, never mind.
So excited. We're over 1,000 listeners.
Oh, awesome.
All the time. Not active every day.
But still, that's pretty impressive for a little over a year. So go us. Anywho, on that note, I'm going to say stay cracked, y'all.
And have a great day.